All right, so next we're going to have sort of a combined hearing, which we are able to do under the procedural rules, given the totality of the circumstances here. So we'll call Ms. Fisk and Ms. Hollis, who have filed two separate petitions, both against the same respondent here, Jeffrey Risvet. So I'd ask the petitioners come here, over here. There's two seats here on my right, your left, and Mr. Is it Risvet? Mr. Risvet, is that how I pronounce you? Yeah, here on the. Okay. All right. So I appreciate everyone's patience. I understand the hearings can go a bit long when there's interpreter services needed. So hopefully, we can not keep folks here for the rest of the morning. And I won't go over the ground rules again. So what we'll do though is, I don't want, I don't want Mr. Risvet to be sort of inundated with things he'll have to respond to. I've reviewed everything. My understanding is largely that the petitioners are alleging some similar activity, and that there's at least one incident that all parties are really stressing as something that was a catalyst for these hearings today. So I think just for simplicity's sake, I'll allow the petitioners to go. Each of you provide testimony, and then I'll ask Mr. Risvet to respond. I'll also make a note up front. I understand that there's been a number of folks in the community who submitted letters on behalf of the petitioners. I have reviewed those. I'm not considering those as part of my decision. The rules do require that declarations be sworn under penalty of perjury. There's some specific statutory language that is required for that. So I'm not able to consider those. For what it's worth, witness testimony needs to be necessary and material to the outcome of a case. And so while some of those letters, I think some folks expressed their feelings about what's going on here, I wouldn't really consider them anyways part of this case. So I want to make that up front. So for the petitioners, if you want to just stick to what's in the petitions. I know Mr. Risvet has, in his response, did ask that a number of materials submitted by petitioners not be considered. I'm not going to consider the letters. I do think it's fair to consider, though, some of the pictures and videos that have been uploaded by both. I know both sides uploaded videos. I think as long as everyone has had notice of those, and I understand we were here last month at a hearing that was recent.
Oh, I've heard enough for a lifetime.
So I think everyone's on notice as far as materials that have been uploaded separate from those letters. So I will consider those, and I do think those are important. So without those caveats in mind, which I guess I'll just go here in alphabetical order. So we'll start with testimony from Ms. Fisk. Steve, you please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth and the whole truth? All right, go ahead, ma'am.
I'll admit I don't really know where to start. This has been going on for about 8 months.
Right, and if maybe it would be helpful to refresh as well. Yeah. Again, I've read everything. So what I'm looking for in testimony is just a top line summary. You heard me go over the definitions before. What I'm looking for is pattern of behavior. After someone's been given clear notice to stop, that causes substantial emotional distress. So if you want to keep your comments tailored to what I'm looking for there, in a more of a summary fashion, recognize I have read everything. And so again, this is really my opportunity to be asking questions. So, but I'll give you that chance to kind of summarize.
Okay. Well, this whole situation has been extremely stressful. I suffer from PTSD, insomnia, anxiety, depression, and all of those have been severely I don't know how to phrase it. It's affected me a lot. The longest I've gone without sleep is 8 days. I pace around my backyard constantly. I have 3 cameras. I even have a mesh thing that covers my windows because of the constant light shining in my windows and the stalking, or that I have felt that is stalking. he gets his partner to drive around and take videos, photos, play loud music, even before 10 a.m., where most of our neighbors are sleeping. Flip us off. We went on a walk one night, and so this is why I don't walk around the park anymore, because he followed us. It was Tammy, Kyle, and me, and we were walking.
Is this the February 4th incident where the police were called?
No, that was earlier on. I want to say in November. It was one of our first walks since he started harassing us, and we were trying to feel more comfortable. And then so we walked around, and then he's proceeded to turn his light off and follow us, which is for me terrifying. And ever since then, I've been on edge, looking everywhere. Like, I don't know where he is. I've walked out of my RV before, and he's been right on the trail right outside. And I don't feel like I have a dog, and I used to walk him everywhere. I can't even, it's terrifying for me to even leave with him, and I don't know if anything's ever going to happen. So my husband has taken that job on, and I just feel isolated, and I can't sleep. I rarely ever leave my little spot. And no matter how many times we have asked him to stop, we have done it over text, in person. He's even dragged his grandchildren to the food stand that we worked at, and tried to talk to us there with customers around.
So if I may stop you.
Yes.
So when you say we've asked him to stop multiple times,
Yes.
What behavior are you talking about where you've asked him to stop?
For the most part, leaving us alone. We really don't want any contact. We don't want him coming into our areas. We throwing rocks at our sites, trying to hit me with their cars. I can't walk or do anything without being harassed at this point.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Ms. Haltz,
Okay.
if you could please raise your hand. Do you swear from testimony you're about to provide is the truth and all truth? Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
Well, this is like she said, this has been going on for months. I don't sleep. I don't feel safe walking in the park. I've gotten 2 cameras and a taser gun. It seemed to get worse right after my husband died. And at the end of July, since the last court date, his girlfriend has been driving by, recording our site, loud music, like 3-4 times a day, flipping off the cameras. She doesn't have to drive by our area at all. I'm scared at night. I don't know what he's going to do. He's been seen behind my trailer at 3 o'clock in the morning with a flashlight. I don't know if he's going to set my trailer on fire. And I don't know if you need them. We did bring witnesses with us today. But yeah, I'm scared. I'm having anxiety attacks again. My friend has been staying with me for a couple of weeks because I can't sleep. And we've asked him to stop. And there was some sexual harassment. The last incident, he latched onto me and started kissing my neck. And I told him no. I told him no to all of his advances. And then we just told him to leave us alone. But if we even leave our trailer to go for walk, there he is, no matter what time of day. And he's following us, and we're scared. And it's pretty unfair to feel like a prisoner in your own home.
Thank you, Ms. Haltz. All right. All right, Mr. Risvet? Yes, sir. All right, over to you, sir. If you could please raise your right hand. Sure. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth and the whole truth? Yes.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but it's hard to believe. I'm not, it could have happened. We'll see, but it's hard to believe.
Right.
First, I'd like to ask you a question, a procedural question, and make a statement about my evidence. I have a video the night that they attacked me, which was the February 4th night. And I went to the library trying to figure out how to submit my video in a format that the court would accept. I was able to have the librarian help me transfer my video.
We have your video.
You may only have the audio part.
We don't. We have the whole.
You have the video that shows Marcy hitting me. That part.
Yeah, I won't
Okay.
comment on what's in, but yes, I've seen the whole. Video.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
audio, yeah, and visual.
I guess that was my point that I wanted to clarify, because I have the video. If you were not able to see the full video, because when I turned it into the court clerk, he said I was able to upload it, but it appears that only the audio.
If it's the incident
So-
from February 4th,
Yes.
then yes, we've been able to see it.
So I appreciate that.
Mhm.
I appreciate that you have that video.
Oh, I don't think we get to see it, but I want to see it.
This has affected myself, my partner, and my grandchildren. Obviously, I've heard what they've said, and I appreciate what they say, that they're upset
I have a mental image that video looks like midget tossing.
about this.
I mean, I'm not saying it does. It's just
I don't have
that's what I'm
texts.
thinking.
Nor do they. I don't have text because the text that they sent me, the last day that I received a text from Tammy was in August of 2025. That day, I deleted contact with both Tammy, Marcy. I even deleted my dead friend, Jamie. I deleted his name. I didn't need his contact in there anymore either. But I deleted those contacts.
This is bizarre. It's like an anti-throuple. We've got a throuple of people that all of which don't like each other.
I thought I archived the messages. They went to my cloud, and I received a notice recently that says after 30 days, deleted contacts or permanently
They said, "Hey, you get off of my cloud."
deleted. I can't even bring those back up. I wish I could. I have no idea how to get those from the cloud. And if they do have texts from my number, I would like to see those. I haven't seen that evidence at all that Tammy has talked about.
I don't think there's been evidence on either
Yeah.
side of texts.
Like, come through.
My other statement, and then I'll talk about how I feel. My other statement is, and I appreciate the fact, Your Honor, that you're not allowing testimony or sworn statements, unsworn statements.
We also don't want to hear about your feelings at all. Like zero amount.
And, as far as I'm concerned, Your Honor, you can go ahead and allow them, because really all they contain is hearsay, moral judgments, and people's personal opinion. And I think that you may have addressed that. So really, they have no evidence. There is no evidence. The pictures and video and everything that they're going to show shows prior planning on their part. It shows a conspiracy. And it shows actually that they waited. They had the opportunity not to assault me, and they still chose to do so. The video evidence that I submitted contains harsh language on both parties, from them and from me. What it doesn't show is me yelling and screaming and hollering, because that didn't happen. What it shows is Tammy saying, "I'm not drunk." I didn't realize at the time. When I listened to it again, it occurred to me, and I realized what she meant. And so I'm going to have to accept that as the truth, that she was not drunk. But what that tells me then, Your Honor, is that she was fully aware and fully in control of her faculties, that she knew what she had planned, that they waited for me, as another video will show. She was fully aware that what she was doing was wrong, and they continued to do it, and it ended in an assault. From that point, they have lied. They've lied to the police. I'd like to point out a statement that Marcy made in her sworn statement, or in her statement, where she says, I must have somehow convinced the police that she was violent. My rebuttal to that would be, I don't think I convinced them. I think when the police saw my video, that convinced them that she was violent. I've not included all the evidence that I was able to uncover, because part of it, I think it happened so long ago that it can't really reflect on true personalities. But I did discover that there have been protection orders filed against the other party. I've discovered that one of them has gone to prison. They want to talk about my past bad acts from 25 years ago.
Right. And so let me just kind of focus in here. So I'm not looking at past acts. The rules of evidence don't apply. I am able to take a broader view of things.
Thank you.
But maybe this can kind of help here. So it seems to me the allegations kind of fall into a few buckets. And I'll kind of address the ones that I think most likely fit into an order, but I'll let folks respond. And the first one is the allegations of shining a flashlight into the petitioner's home. So that's clear in the petition. There's been some still shot photos that I'll ask petitioners to sort of explain how they know that's what makes them believe that to you. But so I want to start there. Do you have any response to the allegations that you've been shining a flashlight into their homes?
I do have. First, I don't do that. Second, if I do walk around at night, I do carry a flashlight, as most people do. And in fact, I think one of the suggestions that Miss Rita has posted is that we carry flashlights after dark.
Yeah, and I'm speaking specifically about shining into their.
No.
Okay. So, and what I'm going to do here is kind of go back and forth on specific instances. We stay focused a bit. And whoever wants to speak to this, everyone's under oath at this point. So do either of the petitioners want to address allegations that specifically Mr. Rusvet is shining flashlights inside your house?
I've had this happen a lot. It did die down a little bit until the last power outage, and I don't remember the exact date we had that in that area. But right after 10 is when he first showed up, or showed up again after a little bit of not doing things. And so this is when we started going to the office, and they started telling us that we needed evidence and stuff. So we did stand out there from time to time with cameras, or with our phone. And then we bought cameras because we're not outside all the time. And then I found out because of the bright light he keeps, my cameras aren't registering him when he walks by. And I don't really know exactly what that has, or why that is. So
when you
now
say
I have a
bright,
light.
when you say bright light, do you mean his flashlight or a bright light coming from his
No, his flashlight.
flashlight?
He has a really bright light that reaches pretty far, and that lights up my entire RV at night, even when the lights are off. So I'm like, I do know it's him. He's the only one that has done it. Even when we were on friendly terms, he would repeatedly do that, and I asked him not to.
When you say that, do you mean using the flashlight generally and it's just so bright it's lighting up your home, or do you mean pointing the flashlight at your home?
Pointing the flashlights directly into my window.
Sorry.
Not just, they have been down my pathway as well. Like he stands at the end of on the road and flashes it down there. And that is why there are some nights I have been outside waiting for him to either throw rocks or shine lights or come into my area. In which we have been told by the owner herself to get cameras and to record him if we can.
Ms. Hollis?
I've had the same problem with the flashlights, and you can look out and see that it's him by his dog and his, his light's really bright. You can tell that it's him. And since we put up the cameras, it's been starting to happen behind my trailer instead of out front, because you can see the camera lights in the windows.
All right. And again, I want to be specific because I recognize this is at night. I imagine there's not a lot of light pollution where you all live. And so this is, you're alleging he's shining it directly at your.
Directly
Just
into my
using it out.
windows. Yeah, just all over my trailer and all of the windows.
And then, so I'll keep with the two of you, and then I'll return to you, Mr. Resvet, as next. You've alleged that he throws rocks at your residence as well. What makes you believe that's him? How often does this happen? Have you asked him to stop?
Well, because when we were on friendly terms, he had jokingly was like, "Oh, I've been doing this to so and so's trailer," and blah blah. And at first we really did think it was a joke. Most of the stuff he said, he seemed like a jokey kind of person. And then we found out a lot throughout the time of knowing him that even though he's joking, he's actually serious about these jokes. And so there's been times that I've been outside in my backyard and he's walked by, and then I'll hear something hit my car. And I'm like, oh, well, there's Jeff again. And I haven't been able to catch him on camera, but I have on one of the videos. It wasn't a very great video, but you can hear, it sounds like a large rock the night that we petitioned and went to court, like the first one, not the last one. Him throwing a large rock at my RV. And since then, he's been doing it to her. And I have also since then, I've gotten a camera for my back area because I don't have any vision.
Right. And again, your belief that it's him is sort of the timing of the petition.
I've seen him. Haven't been able to get him on video. And the few videos I do have doesn't have any, it's dark.
That's okay. I'm really, when I'm asking about this, I understand you all have videos up and that's fine. Your live testimony works too. So what I'm really looking at is if you've personally observed the things that you're alleging. Yeah. Okay. Both with the flashlight and the rocks.
I definitely have.
Yeah, and there's one of our witnesses that came today. He was throwing rocks at her trailer as well. So we knew that he did that, and she had caught him doing it, saw him through her window.
And so, Ms. Hollis, you're also saying you personally witnessed
Yes.
Mr. Resvet shining the flashlight and throwing the rocks. It's not just based on after the fact kind of this. Okay. All right. Any damage to your property or cars, homes?
Not yet.
Okay, so it's just you hear the rocks.
Yeah, and then you'll see him walking away.
All right. Mr. Resvet, your response. You can talk about the flashlight allegations,
Sure.
the rock allegations.
Yeah. Well, I have right now probably 4 of my own flashlights in the trailer and 2 flashlights for my grandkids. And I do have a rechargeable light that has a pretty bright beam, but I can't adjust the spot to make it small or large. It's one size.
This guy is all. This guy's just. I don't believe anything that those two just said. I didn't believe one bit of it. And then he comes in and says something so stupid that I'm thinking, oh my God, maybe they weren't telling the truth.
And if I have that flashlight pointed right down a road, the beam is so bright that it'll illuminate the sides of the road or like the little shoulder of the road.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God.
I'm aware of flashlight etiquette. And I think most people.
I can sit here and laugh at it, but to actually be in there being a judge for it, I'd be like, no, I can't. I don't know what. I don't care. All 3 of you are confined to a Winnebago together for 30 days. Get the hell out of my court.
People are also. And I know I've talked to Max about that. Max is one of the co-owners. We've talked about flashlight etiquette. In fact, he even asked me about flashlight etiquette, and I observe flashlight etiquette. Something I even
I observe flashlight etiquette. That being don't point it at people's homes when they're trying to sleep. Okay, I guess there's a word for that.
have helped my grandchildren learn about, which is we try not to shine our flashlights in people's property.
Can you
And
speak to and I know you've denied the flashlight incident.
Sure.
I think I haven't. Can you talk about the allegations of throwing rocks?
well, it's untrue. My perspective and my point of view and what I have witnessed, and I'm sure it probably had happened long before I had lived there. I was over at Marcy and Tammy, or Tammy's. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was at Marcy and Kyle's house one night. And we were getting ready to go back to my place, I think, to have a fire or something. But we were getting ready to leave. We had all been drinking. Marcy was intoxicated. And she reached down and picked up and threw a rock at Shannon's. And I said, "What are you doing?" First off,
Well, I want to just, if you're getting to something related to the current allegations, that's
I am.
fine. But I want to keep it on
sure.
more recent. They're alleging you throw rocks into their
I
lots.
think that I was just trying to respond to what they had said and trying to show that it's a projection onto me of what they actually do. But really, there is no, I mean, I could summarize and get to the bottom line. There's no video of me throwing rocks at people's house. There's
Well,
no
and
video.
I don't need the video. They're saying they have seen you do this. And so is
Yes.
it just a flat? Sounds like you're just flat.
Okay, I see. Yeah, it wasn't me, Your Honor. In fact, Marcy is the one who throws rocks.
All right, back to the petitioners. You've alleged that Mr. Resvet has been onto your lots,
That Marcy's a rock thrower.
separate from the road walkway, but on your lots, and refused to leave after being asked to leave. Can each of you talk in turn about that?
The night of the police call, he refused to leave, and I was already on the phone with Tammy before he came down. She knows I've been pacing my yard trying to get him on camera because it's very hard to get him on camera, it seems like. So she came over because we saw his light flashing, and so we waited right next to my car, which at the time my husband was gone. And our areas were we parked one car and then another car and then my RV, so it's like a decent space. So we were far away from the road. Anyways, we were talking. We knew he was coming. At that time, I didn't think I needed to record. I usually waited till he stopped and started flashing his light to start trying to record. But anyways, he was walking up the road and Tammy and I were sitting next to my car. He started coming in. Well, first he noticed us. He seemed surprised. Then he came at us and we were like, leave. There's no reason for him to be in my area.
Okay, and this was happening on your lot.
Yes, in spot 60. We did submit a picture of two pictures of the maps, yeah. And he refused to. At that point, we did start yelling, leave. And I got my phone out and started recording him. And at that point, he's backing up into the road.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see at the beginning of the video, him backing up and then getting his phone ready to record stuff.
Prior to that incident, had he been on your lot and asked to leave?
Yes. He has, well, in the beginning when we didn't want anything to do with him, at some point I had been trying to find a way to distance myself. And I thought I was lucky because he was like, well, I need space. And I'm like, cool, then leave me alone, And after that, he started kind of coming up to me, apologizing and stuff. And I'm like, I don't want anything to do with you. And so one day I believe he was dropping off my grinder and it's still sitting on my steps in the little bag he put it, because I don't understand why he would have done that. But we asked him to stay away from us and to not walk into our area.
We meaning the two,
My husband and I.
you and your husband. Cool. All right. And Ms. Hollis?
I've also asked him to leave me alone, stay away from me. And it's like every time you turn around, he's walking by or he's
What grinder are we talking about here? Did you say the craziest stuff?
standing somewhere close by you, videotaping you. The incident on the video where he claims to be assaulted, you can clearly see me getting in between him and Marcy because he was grabbing at her.
And I want to stay away from the video and just, I'm thinking, I want to know more about prior
He came into
communication about not wanting contact, not coming onto you.
right after my husband died. He came over and we were trying to talk to him about his inappropriate sexual things that he was saying and doing to us. So he was on my site then, and we made it quite clear that he needed to stop and leave us alone. And we didn't appreciate the comments or being touched. And there was another incident.
And let me just, when you say not appreciated, I understand that. Again, as I kind of said at the beginning, what I'm really looking for too is comments that are not appreciated, but then notice to the person to stop communication, to stop unwanted behavior. In addition to being something you may not have wanted, can you talk about communicating that to him?
He was told several times and he didn't know what the word no meant. He doesn't listen. And we've complained to the office and they keep telling us to get him on camera. And now he's just, every time we see him, he's recording us. And now his girlfriend's driving by recording our trailers for no reason, just harassing.
All right, Mr. Resvet, over to you. Specifically with, again, I'm looking at allegations that you've gone onto the property of the petitioners after having been asked to not go there.
Mhm.
And speaking with them, having physical contact. I think Ms. Hollis indicated that after being asked not to. So if you want to address those.
Sure. I have not spoken directly to them until the night of February 4th. I've not spoken directly to them since probably August 7th or 8th. I can tell you the comment or the conversation I had with Tammy on August 5th, her birthday and my girlfriend's birthday.
Is this a time when you're around when you may have expressed to him not to talk to you after that?
That was a couple of weeks before one of the incidents where he latched on, started kissing my neck, and it was 5 days after my husband died. So I may not remember that entire conversation.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to get a sense.
He was told to leave me alone.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mr.
The night of August 5th, when I went over to talk to Tammy, I had texted and said, I want to come over and talk to you. And the reason I wanted to come over and talk to them is because my girlfriend, my wife, I call her my wife, but my girlfriend and Tammy share a common birthday. We went out to dinner, unbeknownst and coincidentally, Tammy and I think her friend's name was Edie, had gone to the same restaurant. I didn't see her.
Oh, good Lord. The whole trailer park showed up at Applebee's.
My daughter did. She said, why is Tammy staring at us from the checkout counter? I said, what?
I can't do it.
I grabbed or took one of my grandchildren out, and my daughter took the other grandchild out to try and see Tammy so we could say, hey, happy birthday. Hope everything's going well. Happy birthday. Didn't catch them. So but I knew that Tammy had seen me. I wanted Tammy to make sure I wasn't ignoring her. I wanted Tammy to make sure that I recognized it was her birthday and to say happy birthday. When they say that I was asked to leave and I didn't want to leave, Tammy at that time told me 2 months after our initial, when she claims that I initially started making harassing comments to her, 2 months after that. And I thought we had talked about it. Everything was fine. I'm the type of guy that goes on. I apologized. We go on. 2 months after that, on August 5th, Tammy told me that she was still holding a grudge, that she was still angry about the way that I had acted when I was deep in my throes of alcoholism, that she was so angry that she couldn't forgive me 2 months later. At that time, I said, my mom treated me like this. I don't accept this kind of treatment from people. If you cannot forgive me and go on, and 2 months later, you
Oh, sweet Jesus. Now we're into therapy speak, of course. Of course.
throw this in my face, I said, we don't need to be friends. And I attempted to leave. By that point, Marcy had come over. I think Tammy had texted her, Jeff's being mean or something. Marcy had come over. I was leaving. I was attempting to leave her property, Tammy's property. She got up, she held on to me. I said, Tammy, get your hands off. Marcy was in the background, and I heard Marcy say, Tammy, just let him go. I had to physically take Tammy's hands off my arms so that I could leave. I've had no further contact. Let me amend that, Your Honor. A few days after that, my grandchildren were coming over. My grandchildren loved Tammy and her husband, Jamie, and my friend Marcy and Kyle. They loved them. Marcy and Kyle used to come to the playground and play with us. They'd meet us downtown at playgrounds to play with us.
Marcy
After
Playground.
August 5th, I did approach Tammy and Marcy at their stand, at the food stand. And I said, the kids are still asking about you. I want to let you know that the kids are coming over tomorrow. I want to pay for their cotton candy today and the tip so that we don't have to deal with this tomorrow. I can just have the kids come up with somebody else, with Katie. Somebody. Here's my money. They took my money. The next day, I went up just to make sure that everything was going to be fine. Tammy was there and she said, Marcy's not coming in today. You know, I was disappointed. I knew my kids were going to be, the grandkids were going to be disappointed.
So this is around August?
Yes, August, probably 8th or 9th. I know it was after her birthday, a few days after her birthday.
So it sounds to me like around this time in August is when I'm kind of hearing there was some clear expressions to not speak with the petitioners, not to go into their property, turning back to the petitioners. So now we're looking at sort of that August forward. At this point has looking at that time frame, Mr. Rizvet communicated with you, gone onto your lot, things of that nature since August 5th, both indicating yes.
Yeah.
Can you give me some examples?
Well, I don't know if this is exactly very helpful, but at some point when we take our dog on a walk every day, but
I'm sure it won't be.
stated that I felt uncomfortable. I usually go there's a camping area that's completely empty when it's like in August further on because, well, it's too cold. But anyways, we walk around there and my husband ended up taking that job for me. And he's Rizvet went to the office at some point, was saying some stuff, and then proceeded to tell the office that he was going to call my husband's job. And then he proceeded to walk around the tent area one day, and my husband was trying to ignore him. And he was like, I called your job, I'm going to get you fired and stuff like that. And that harassment, little comments and little throwing rocks at our RV, walking by, staring us down. This creepy, smirky smile that he does a lot.
How about comments sort of directly at you? Has he talked to you since
Since then, I
Mr.
have
gone onto your property?
gone out of my way to ignore him. He has tried to apologize from time to time, but I literally I don't say anything. I just keep walking.
All right, Ms. Hollis.
I've seen him veer off of the road intentionally and walk in my driveway. Where we live, the campsites are kind of back to back and you have empty spots on the sides. And he feels it's okay, even though they're really close to our trailers, to walk in and out of those with his dog, which makes us both very uncomfortable because it's right next to us. And he knows, I believe he knows what he's doing.
All right. Last thing I want to cover here is there's been allegations, Mr. Resvet, of you from the main road, it sounds like, filming them.
Yes.
What are your response there?
I have done that, Your Honor, because I felt like almost a tit for tat, and I know that's immature. But they want to say that I keep walking around their area, that I walk in and out of their neighbors' campsites. Tammy has neighbors on both sides of her. They're not empty sites. Sure, her neighbor on her south side has been there as long as I have, I think, Your Honor. Those sites are never unoccupied. But yes, I do videotape them because I wanted to be able to show that since I'm not walking around there, and Tammy has said this to me, stay on your fucking side of the campground. Since I don't go over on their side, I wanted to videotape them walking by my house repeatedly.
We finally got our F-bomb.
I don't go down the center road behind their house because I think it's too close to their house and I don't want them to say, oh, Jeff's harassing us. But I do notice that there have been times when their neighbor across the street drives by my house and 5 minutes later, they're walking down the road behind my house, laughing and talking and blowing bubbles. So yes, I have taken pictures of that. I did take a picture, a video one day when they were standing out in front of the shower and I was wanting to go down there.
I didn't have Grindr or Bubbles or sharing a birthday on my bingo card. But there it is.
And could not go down there because I didn't want to come face to face with them. So really, I mean, they want to say I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be doing that. I take videotapes to show that they're doing what they want me not to do. I do have a rebuttal statement for something that Katie, Marcy said about her husband, Kyle, and I know he submitted a statement, so I did want to talk about that.
Okay. So I'm not considering that because he's not a petitioner. And so
okay.
I'm not considering that, so we don't have to go down that road. All right. So here's where I'm thinking at this point. There's a lot of allegations, and it seems like, frankly, most of the animosity here is with respect to things that Mr. Resvet is doing in an area where I don't really have any control on the main roads here. Y'all are neighbors. I can't evict him. I can't issue any orders that prohibit his use and enjoyment of his own property. And so I can't tell Mr. Resvet, don't walk your dog at night. Don't go, as long as he's on a public road, even if it's at night, even if it's, at times that make folks uncomfortable, there's nothing I can do to prohibit that behavior. What I can do is, it sounds like the petitioners have made it clear to Mr. Resvet that they don't want any contact, and that they don't want Mr. Resvet on their lots. And so, with respect to that, coming onto their property, having contact with them, I do think that they've met their burden on that front. That there's been an express notice that they don't want any communication. And it does sound like I recognize that there's a lot of friction in some relationships where it sounds like there may have been some friendships before that have soured, and that it is sometimes difficult to understand when exactly no contact is wanted at any point anymore. And it sounds like that may have been the case here, but it does sound like from what has been submitted, and again, I'm just reviewing the sworn testimony and the sworn petition, that there was some communication to Mr. Resvet not to contact them or to go onto their property. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign an order prohibiting contact with the petitioners. I'm not going to put any kind of geographical restriction on excluding or staying away from their property, because I recognize your neighbors, and I also recognize you have a right to be on the public road. I can't do anything about that. And so what it's going to specify is you're not allowed to go into their property, onto their lots. You can go onto the road, but just not their lots. And you can't have any contact with them, direct or indirect. So no, it sounds like your girlfriend may have a relationship with them as well, or and that you know a spouse. So no indirect communication. It just sounds like stay out of each other's business. Don't go onto their lots. Don't communicate with them. I'm not restricting your ability to go where everyone else can go. Sounds like in this community, there's a lot of walkways and areas that are open to the public. Again, there's nothing I can do about that. If you think that he's breaking some of the management rules, some of the rules of the property, that is a conversation for the folks who manage the property. I can't enforce, noise restrictions yet.
What about him recording us every time we drive by? Because it's a one-way. We can't stop from driving his direction. It's and there's two ways to leave, and they're choosing to go our way.
Tough nuggets.
Right. So again, he's able to leave the area the way he wants to. Now, so as far as him filming, number one, and this is not a criminal case here, but it is a crime to record people without their consent. It is different when you've got a Ring camera or something that you've installed, right? Because that doesn't pick up audio, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm still a little unclear as to is the allegations that he is going up to you, either of you in public, and recording you, or is it that he's on his lot recording when you go by?
Well, it's both actually. He's been caught doing it in his area as we're just driving by, and the most recent incident I can think of is she was doing her laundry, and she was driving by the field, and he was busy recording her as she drove by. It's a very public area.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, so as far as him recording folks from his property, there's nothing I can do about that. The same as you all having a Ring camera, you're able to sort of, when you're on your property, you're able to do things like that. And so again, audio and visual recordings of folks, when they're in public, there's not much I can do about that. Now, if it gets to a point where you think that this is you being monitored, that could be a different story. That is where you get the legal definition of stalking. It's not just the occasional recording somebody.
I do feel like we're being monitored every day, though.
Right, but it's difficult because you're also neighbors, right? So to the extent that you see him at night walking his dog, that he's recording folks from his property. I mean, you're neighbors. And again, I can't evict him. He's going to be living there. So that's where this gets a little difficult, is you're going to continue to be neighbors.
Well, yeah, we've run into the same problem with the office people. They're hoping for certain kind of things to be able to go through a process.
Yeah. But what I can do again, where I can act is on somebody's personal space and personal property. And so for that, so I will issue orders protecting, restraining Mr. Resvet from talking to them. Sounds like at this point there's been a clear break. And so there's going to be no communication with either direct or indirect. That includes no physical contact, and exclusion to not go onto their lots.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
To be clear, does that mean that Katie can't harass us, flip us off?
No.
The girlfriend?
This does not involve her. There would need to be, ma'am, is that you?
Yeah, of course it is.
Ma'am,
Yeah, that happened.
okay, but that kind of reaction is not helpful. No, she's not a party to this. And they
Okay.
don't have any kind of legal relationship, it sounds like. So
Oh, that figured since they live together and they've been together for a very long time that they're both doing it. And I believe that he's keeping track.
You would need to petition against her. But again, the order is direct or indirect. So if you have evidence that he's indirectly contacting you through somebody else, that's also a violation of the order. So that's going to be on here. So it's do not attempt or have contact, including non-physical, direct, indirect, through third parties. Period. So that would, if you think there's indirect, so for you, that's part of it as well, right? Is you can't tell your girlfriend to talk to them or anything like that. Or
May I ask a question?
yeah, one, and then I think we're going to let folks go. Yep, go ahead.
They've stated that I record them as they come in. They record us as
Yeah,
we
and
go
I
out.
noted that, and that's why I'm not addressing that
And-
issue in the order.
The other thing is that my wife drives a really small car
Mhm.
there are 2 exit routes.
Right. And you're allowed to use the exit routes.
There's one entrance route.
Right.
Okay. I can't stop them from going past my house.
Right.
I can't. I don't go past their house.
Okay.
I have a big truck. I go up the middle. It's potholes. It's like this. Katie's car sits about this far off the ground.
Okay.
And to go out the exit loop on theirs is the smoother route.
Okay.
It takes an extra minute, but Katie doesn't have to deal
Oh, sweet Jesus. What?
say. It's not a coincidence, Your Honor. They want me to stay off their property, and I don't go on the property. And I think you've seen on the video that I wasn't on the property. It's coincidental. I can't prove it. They're not the only ones with security cameras, Your Honor, however, but Katie's car was vandalized the other day.
So we're not going to get into that right
Okay.
now. Orders have been issued at this point.
Sure.
They'll be available to folks later this afternoon when I complete them. And if you have
Sure.
any questions, you can reach out to the civil department. All right. But that'll be the order of the court. You're all free to go.
So will that order include restrictions on them also of not contacting me?
No, it's a one-way. You would have to petition against that. All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Thank you.
Don't worry. The next one's worse.
Nope. Everyone stop. Hey, Katie. No. Nope. Nope. Oh. Yeah. I meant stop in the sense don't talk to each other. All right. You're all free to go.
I'm waiting for them to leave.
All right.
Sorry, Your Honor.
That's all right. Thank you all. All right. Okay, next we've got
The civil protection orders
Michael Rika and Rob Schaefer.
are
Hello,
endless
present.
fun.
And you may, are you going to be helping him out?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to sit on your left, Mike.
This is my daughter, and then her husband, my son-in-law, is right there.
All right, now this is, well, folks.
You're good. Okay, cool.
All right, now this is primarily for Mr. Schaefer.
Yes.
So I frequently exercise at the YMCA on Plum Street, and I believe I recognize Mr. Rika, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
And we don't have a relationship. I I think I may have helped you once or twice. Just, letting kind of saying hello, letting you know what was in front of you, things of that nature.
Thank you.
I know you've all been sitting here all morning. If you're uncomfortable with me hearing this case, I would be happy to recuse myself and step away.
No, just as long as I can say what happened as he came into the complex when he first moved in, because that's how our friendship developed, and it's important for the case.
Okay, well, I want you to feel comfortable.
I'm fine because
moving
everybody
forward.
helps this man.
Okay,
I honor this man.
all right.
I've had the whole time I've been in his company.
Okay, all right. If you feel, are you pointing you now, Mr. Rika, comfortable with me hearing
Yes, sir.
the case? Okay, all right. Okay, well, you've now been here through a couple of hearings, so I won't go over the ground rules again here. So, Mr. Wright, and I'm sorry, it's Rika.
Rika.
Gosh, yeah.
All right.
Rika. All right, Mr. Rika, I'll swear you in, and you'll go first. And sir, before we, you can put your hand down. I'm sorry. You're here with your daughter. Ma'am, do you want to put your name on the record just so we know?
Yeah, my name's Kendall Tuttle.
And so Ms. Suttle's present with you. Sir, Mr. Rika, is there any other assistance you'll need today as far as moving forward with today's hearing? I don't believe there's any exhibits that need describing, but is there anything else that you would need?
Gregor Tuttle, my son-in-law, he might have some words to say too. I don't know. But otherwise, no, I'm good.
Okay, you're all right. Okay.
I will say that he's not able to really go online and submit things. And
Right.
so that's why nothing was submitted. And he also hasn't viewed anything if anything else was submitted by Rob or.
Okay. All right. He did, Mr. Rob Schaefer did submit basically a response
Okay.
letter. And so again, if you want some time, we can reschedule if you want to
I think we're okay. Right?
look at that.
Let's just move forward.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So in that case, Mr. Rika, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to provide is the truth and the whole truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Oh,
His daughter's sweet, but I still can't get over he hasn't viewed things.
where we start? Rob has a tendency to grab me. Now, as a blind man, as you probably witnessed, it's a vulnerability. It's a huge vulnerability. And at the Y, I'm kind of the resident athlete, if you will, at times. And so I tend to go to the Y on a daily basis. I have not gone to the Y. This year, I went January 4th and I went February 4th. Those are the only 2 days I've gone this year. Prior to that, I went every single day of the week. And mainly because I'll walk outside my house and this man will grab me. And I'll walk to the store and this man has grabbed me at the store. Or I'll be walking across the street. I can specify these more in detail, but I've walked across the street on Fairview and Legion, and he's grabbed me as I'm listening for cars, because the only way I can cross the street is after the, I'm constantly listening for cars. I didn't hear him pull up next to me, and then I didn't hear him get out of his car. All I know is that as I'm trying to walk across the street, I get grabbed from behind, and and every time, maybe the first couple of times I didn't tell him, get off me, but after that, I've said, get off me, don't touch me, quit grabbing me. The last time I was taking my trash out, someone else takes my trash out now for me, but I was taking my trash out, walking back at 10 yards, 10 meters away from my porch is a dumpster. And I'd walk to the dumpster, throw my trash away. And now I'm listening, and it's a ghost town because I'm listening for him, because I know that he's going to grab me if I miss it. Anyways, so I get back to my walkway and I miss it by a couple inches or foot, whatever it is. I don't know. and which is an easy fix though, because I take my cane, and which my cane is just an extension of my arm, and I feel my way over. But I missed my walkway by a little bit, and he grabs me. I didn't know he's there, and I yell. I'm hoping to catch some people coming out of their apartments or something, just so they can witness it, because I'm yelling, "Don't grab a blind man! Get off me!" And so those and I've switched my route from my house, because I used to go straight through to the street sidewalk, which is a grassy knoll area about 10 yards again, from the sidewalk to the sidewalk of the city sidewalk to the apartment sidewalk. And so there's a 10-meter grass between there. So I walk 50 paces from the church driveway, and 50 steps, and then I'll take a right or left face. I'll toe the line at the grass, and then I'll walk straight across. I'll miss it every time, but I don't miss it by much. And I'll make those easy corrections, and then I'll get back on the sidewalk. But I had to change my route, because over and over and over again, he comes running over and grabs me, because he hangs out in his van, or they're on the parking lot. And
May I stop you and ask a question?
yes, please.
So how is it that you know it's Mr. Schaefer?
Oh, I can tell his voice.
Okay.
And
Does he ever tell you? Does he ever introduce himself?
he said it's Rob or something. Yeah, but
Right.
mostly I hear his voice.
And
He's the only one on the planet that's ever grabbed me.
okay.
I have people at times that will say, help me across the street, or police officers that will help me because I wander off into 4th Avenue, but before.
Judge is dying to ask if they're gay. I mean, he just is. We're all thinking it. He doesn't want to offend them. He doesn't care if they are, but he's just like why? Like, he's trying to make sense of this, like the rest of us. It's so freaking awkward. I don't think they are. I don't think he is anyway. I don't think this blind guy is. I don't know. But that's just the elephant in the room.
They touch me even, or city workers, they'll say, "Sir, you need to step to your right. I'm going to grab your arm," or something. And they'll let me know. They don't just grab me. This person's the only person on the planet that grabs me. And it seems like he grabs me every time he gets around me. Now, I don't have eyes, so.
You have eyes, they just don't work.
My daughter's not eyes, and my son-in-law's not. But so I don't know how, where is that at any time? So I just.
Can I ask you another question? So
Please.
you mentioned that there was it sounds like a period where you may have kind of gotten a little angry, and you let him know, don't touch me.
Yes.
And now I'll ask him to kind of speak to what he put in the letter, so that you have the benefit of what he said as well.
Yes.
He also referenced an incident about 2 months ago, which I think you may be talking about the same thing. When would you say you clearly told him, please don't touch me anymore?
Time-wise?
Yeah. Can you think about how long ago that was?
Year ago or so?
It was about a year ago.
Maybe longer, but at first I was going with. I was just like, okay, he's just trying to help. He doesn't understand the barriers, and after a few times it's happened, my intensity grew, and then that last time it was.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Mr. Rika. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Schaefer now. I'll let you respond. And if you could, I don't know if you have it in front of you, the letter you provided.
Yes.
I've read it. And
add to it, so the situation
I've
when
read
he
it.
moved in.
And I think it would be helpful for everyone if you want to it's not too long, if you want to just read it first as well, so he can hear what you had to say.
This was a misunderstanding. I've known Mike since he moved into the Olympia Village. He still had his sight. We became good friends. We spoke scripture. I felt like he was my spiritual brother. Over the years, I helped him along with another disabled gentleman named Jim Blevins, who no longer lives there. There were many times when Mike would get off his path, and I would call his name and gently place my hand on him and guide him back to safety, and he would thank me for his help. Also would help him with food, showing him what food was what, in the area where the food was. The last action that happened with Mike was 2 months ago, when in front of his place I saw him heading toward a rose bush that has these sharp canes with these stickers, and I attempted to stop him from falling by placing my hand on his shoulder. I did not grab him. I placed my hand on his shoulder to stop him from getting hurt. And that's when he exclaimed, "Never touch a blind man." And I knew I could say no more because he was angry. So I walked away. This is the only thing that ever happened. I never followed him. I never grabbed him. I never harassed him in any way. In fact, most who lived at the village would look out for him like I did. So this is very upsetting to me to take an action like this or over helping somebody from being hurt. I'm saddened greatly by this because I thought we were friends for many years, and I helped this man. Only to be treated like this is very sad. Because I need to add this in. When he moved in, we made friends fast. He came in a Jeep. He was working construction as a carpenter. And he told me his story, that he was in the military, that he was the top mixed martial artist in the world. I had utmost respect and honor for this man. And then he told me he was a preacher, and we spoke scripture. And I felt like this connection. I was proud to call him my friend. I helped him for many, many, many years. I always looked out for him. And he told me he was going to lose his sight when he first came in. I was devastated because I wanted to help him. I wanted him to train me what he knew through this mixed martial arts, because I was just like, I was infatuated with that. And so I went to my computer and I found this one man named Dr. Wallach, and I gave him the information. The only man I ever knew that I talked to about Mike's condition, this detached retina.
And if I could just,
okay, well, it's okay. So I'll move it along.
Relationship. Yeah.
But
Yeah, whatever, dude. Just stop touching him. So this is hard. There's nothing difficult about the situation. Keep your hands off the man. He doesn't like it. Period. That's it.
I've always looked out for him. I told him when this happened, I said, "I got your back, man. I'll watch out."
So what I'm curious
and
about,
he gave me his Jeep.
Okay. Right.
He doesn't want you to have his back. Okay. I think that's the whole problem here.
So
And then his family came along and wanted it back, and I gave it back to him.
Right.
But I never, the whole time I ever knew this man, I always honored him and respected him.
Mr. Schaefer, if I could come in and ask you a question. Mr. Rika has indicated that about a year ago, he's saying he communicated to you that he didn't want to be touched. Sounds like you
Never happened.
So you're denying that
It never
conversation
happened.
took place.
I was too busy with the woman I'm living with has edema, and her foot blew up like a basketball, and I had to work with that. I had no time for anybody else after that. Jim was gone. I always dedicate my time in this place to help people. I come from my heart to help people. I don't try to traumatize people. When I did traumatize Mike, I felt so bad when I was trying to keep him from getting hurt by that rose bush,
Okay.
that I didn't talk to him for 2 months after that. God said, "Leave him alone. He'll come around and we'll be able to talk." It never happened. My heart hurts over this.
So do you acknowledge that, or I shouldn't say it that way, this rose bush incident, did Mr. Rika during this?
That's
incident
when he told me,
Okay.
"Don't ever touch."
Yeah, I wish I had the rights, because YMCA is the theme for this hearing all the way.
A blind man.
Okay.
And I couldn't explain to him what I was trying to do to prevent him from
Right.
hitting this rose
Okay.
bush.
Okay.
And it hurts me so bad because
Don't touch a blind man. Don't touch any man. How's that? Don't touch any man. That's even a better rule to live by.
I didn't do any of these things that's claimed in this petition. I never did any of them.
So Mr. Schaefer, I'm sorry, Mr. Rika, back to you. Since this, do you know this rose bush incident he's talking about?
Yeah.
So since
I don't know the rose bush because I never touched it,
Okay,
but I know
since
the
that-
incident.
Okay, since that incident, has Mr. Schaefer
No,
touched you
he
to
has
your
not touched.
knowledge? Okay.
But you don't leave your house anymore.
But I don't leave my house anymore either. And if you go to the gym, you know I haven't been there. And there's a grocery store incident where I made it. I got my groceries, and it's a whole ordeal with it when you're blind. I got my groceries. I got through the checkout stand. I got almost to the door, the south door of Ralph's, and I get grabbed from behind. And then he grabs my cane and jerks my cane out of my hand. And he says, "You're going to knock over that plant." I'm like, "You need to let go of me. You need to let go of my cane and leave me alone."
And may I ask, I want to make sure, because
This happened a few months prior
Okay.
to the last incident. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so one thing that it's my job to make clear is that, a lot of times, especially when there's some friction in a relationship, there will be something like, "Get off me, I don't want to talk to you," things of that nature. That's in context seem more fleeting. And one of the things I have to do is make sure that someone has clear notice, especially if there's been a prior friendship or something like that, some kind of relationship, that the person, it's clearly communicated that you don't want any more contact at all. This is not like, "Get away from me, I don't want to talk to you right now," that sort of thing, but a clear break in the relationship where you do not want contact. And so, you've referenced a couple of interactions where sounds like you were sort of touched unexpectedly. Maybe Mr. Schaefer's intent was to help, but your response has been to "Please don't touch me." Can you speak a little bit to, if you recall, the context of you saying that? Was that, "Don't touch me, I don't want to be touched ever"? Or was it, "I don't need help right now, I'm good"? If you can tell that distinction, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay. There was an incident last time my son visited me from New York, on the corner, the northeast corner of Fairview and Legion. I was waiting for traffic, and the only way I know when there's traffic is I listen for it. And there's 14 intersections between my house and the gym, so I've become pretty adequate. Although whatever it is, but and my son drove by me. He said, "Hey, Dad," and so I said, "Go on home, go on to the house. I'll meet you over there." And so then I started taking off to walk across the street. I didn't hear him pull up on Fairview and stop at Legion. But next thing I know, I'm getting grabbed from behind. I said, "Dude, I do this every single day. I've got this. Get off me."
So if I can pause right
Yes.
there. So Mr. Schaefer, I saw you had quite a reaction to that. Can you tell
I
me
have
what's your
never
perspective of
in the
it?
store.
Uh-huh.
Anytime I'm around Mike, I always say, "Mike, it's Rob." I always identify myself to him all the time. If he's in a situation where I think he's going to get hurt, I'll say, "Stop" first. I'll say, "Stop, Mike. It's Rob. I'm coming over."
Mhm.
I never have ever approached it because I respect this man. I know what his training is. And I would be a fool to grab somebody with that kind of training because he could snap me like a twig, and I know it. So I would never do that. Never, out of respect
Do you
for what
announce
he
yourself?
knows.
Do you announce yourself and then kind of hold him, or do you?
I
announce yourself and
always
wait for
acknowledge
him?
myself. I come gently, grab his arm, and bring him back into a safe place where he knows where he's at, so he can proceed home. All the time.
But hang on. Do you? I just want to make sure I'm clear. Is what the practice that you announce yourself
Yes,
and then, in your view, sort of touch him gently?
very gently.
So
I'm always
do you
respectful.
announce yourself and wait for him to
Yes.
give you well, so those are two different things. Do you wait for him to tell you it's okay, or do you sort of, in your view, again, gently, but touch him?
When I acknowledge that it's me,
Yeah.
then I touch him.
Okay.
And he's okay. And he always thanks me every time when I get him back in the safe zone.
Okay.
On the road, when he's out running around, I have seen him in my car. I never stop my car and get out of my car to grab him. I would never do that. Like I said, I'd be foolish to do that. This man was number one
Oh, okay. I
mixed
understand.
martial artist.
There's one more part of the petition I want to ask about. Mr. Rike, you also claim that Mr. Schaefer has gone into your home without permission. Can you speak to that?
Well, he might not see it as not permission, but someone knocked on my door and I yelled, "Who is it?" somebody they knocked again. He and I heard someone saying something, but I didn't know who it is. And so he came in. Okay. Instead of opening the door and saying it's Rob, he just opened the door and came in and said that he came to help me clean my fridge. And I told him no. I said, you need, I know I told him, I didn't tell him you need to do anything. I told him I've got it covered. That's all I said to him. And he said something else that, Cynthia sent him over to see my, Cynthia's the owner of the complex, to help me clean my fridge. I said, I got it covered. Now, Cynthia knows, because I've mentioned it several times in several different settings, that because someone actually said to me one day when we were having this little sit down in my court, you do so well for a blind man. And I said, well, you'd think so. But for some reason, whenever Rob's around, I can't take another step without him grabbing me and helping me out. Because I don't make a whole lot of mistakes. I mean, my cane guides me through a lot, and I've been ran over. I've had my feet ran over. I've had my cane ran over, but I haven't been hit by cars or anything like that. I manage, but for some reason, when Rob's around, I get grabbed. And no, he does not announce his name every time he comes up and grabs me. At the store, I didn't know until after I was grabbed that it was him, because I was ready to yell, someone called 911. Because somebody was grabbing me. And then after he grabbed me, he started talking. I knew who it was. And I told him, let go of my cane, let go of me, and don't touch me. Same thing at the...
Love, exciting and new.
That northeast corner. I've got this. I do this every day. Let go of me. And now Cynthia, I don't know why she sent him over, because she knows very well, she's admitted to me, that he grabs her children, and her children, who are adults, have both told Rob specifically that if he touches them one more time, they're going to punch him, because it's a habit of his. And Cynthia, the owner of the complex, has mentioned, oh, I got to tell you this too, but as mentioned, I forget where I was going with that.
All right. Well,
But I wanted to tell you something, Your Honor. I'm in the process of moving. I'm moving because of this. And I didn't know, I got word a few days ago that I got accepted into a complex. And, but I still am more than think this is necessary, because I don't know the extent of his predatory behavior. And that's how I see it.
Right.
And but I am moving, and I'm in the process of doing that. I'm paid up till the end of the month, but I'm in the process of moving at this time.
Okay.
I think that I should have told that you're right up front, but anyways.
Okay. Oh, that's all right. So I see a couple more people want to contact. So I'm at the point where I think I'm ready though. So I'm gonna.
Can I say one more thing?
Okay, one more thing. Yeah.
This petition that I've been living in this place for over 10 years, helping everybody inside of this village, has gotten me thrown out of there. I no longer have a place. I can't afford to be at another place. This has conveniently gotten me out of here. So this petition that we're having, we don't even really need. And everything that's being stipulated is a false accusation. I never touched this man out when he's running around. I know he's capable. He's sometimes getting ready to fall off the curb, and I call his name, tell him to stop, and I tell him it's Rob. I've done this my entire time. I've helped disabled people in this building for years.
I understand what you're saying. So I understand
I
what
can't
you're
believe
saying.
what's being said here in this courtroom.
If I could just say one thing, I'll keep it very short. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
For years, I've
no,
helped you.
Okay.
for non-parties, it needs to be necessary material. But here's the thing, I am going to grant the order, but it's going to be a limited order in that you're just not going to be allowed to have any direct communication with him. That's it. Okay. It's not going to affect where you live. It's not, if you're not living together at all or anywhere near each other and you don't have reason to see each other, there shouldn't be any reason for this order to affect your life whatsoever. All right. But I think that it's Mr. Rika has met his burden of, more likely than not, it sounds like he's asked not to be touched in a way that I think, based on what I'm hearing, has been sort of a clear communication not to be touched. This is not a comment on your intent. You may have been intending to help, but
From my heart on everything.
right. Then I'm not commenting on that, but what I'm looking at is, has there been communication from Mr. Rika to you that he doesn't want to be touched at all, even if you feel he might be in danger or something like that? And if, but then if that behavior has continued since that clear communication, and I based on what I'm hearing, I think Mr. Rika has met that burden, and what he's telling me on, sort of how it's affected his leaving and sort of his day-to-day life. It seems to me that seems to have caused him some substantial emotional distress. You may vehemently disagree with that and think it's an irrational way to have responded, but I do think that is how he's responded here, and that's how he's taken that interaction. So again, this is going to be an order that's just protective of him and communication directly with him. No restrictions on your ability to live anywhere. It's just to not contact him.
Well, the damage has already been done by the filing anyhow, because I don't know, I'm in the street.
Well, and this is just between you, the two of you, nothing about where to live or anything of that nature. All right.
And that he was we scripture. I mean,
Yeah.
for Lord's
And
sake,
the relationship has changed, it sounds like. So I'll be entering an order later.
If you got kicked out of the complex, I'm guessing that there are other complaints involved
Today. But again, that's going to be just have no contact directly or indirectly with Mr. Rika. And that's the extent of the order. But that's going to go into effect later today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any questions from either of you?
No.
All right. So I'll ask Mr. Rika if you and your family want to stay, just so we don't have folks leaving at the same time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Schaefer.
You took me to stand. Yeah, stand up then.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Sure, we'll see you at the gym.
Yeah, I'll be seeing you.
that was absolutely excruciating, both of them. I told you it was we had Bubbles, and then we've got Mr. Hansy over there. Yeah, it's Feel Good Monday. It's too much feeling. That guy with the beard and the scripture and all that business, he sounded absolutely obsessed. I was creeped out. I think that the blind guy was actually very nice about this. Probably only because he's blind. Generally, this gets sorted out with a fist fight. It really does. The only thing saving that guy is that the guy's blind. All right, there you have it. Good stuff. Thank you to Zach over at LawNerdsUnite for sending me that nugget. I do love my Monday civil protection orders. Always a good time. I will see y'all soon.